God, Mike's one of the best climbers you never heard of.
There's something magical about the way he goes about climbing.
When he finds someone to chase, he can like flick a switch in his head, and that's what matters.
I'ma gotta get it.
So who is Mike Hart? Mike Hart is one of the longest serving members of staff at the Climbing Hangar.
Mike Hart is?
Mike Hart's a very lovely guy.
One of the most humble beasts you've ever met.
The simple answer is our regional route setter for the North. He's also been a hangar setter for about a decade now. And he's also a quite underground hero here in the Northwest.
Mike's a really important asset for the hangar because not only can he put blocks on faster than you can think, he's able to like really get a team together, support each other and be on like the same message, regardless of how long he's known you.
Probably want this to be unmatchable. So typically a pocket would be quite good for that, but we don't seem to have any. So we might have to get a little creative, yeah. See what we've got.
Mike's very quiet on first meeting. I suppose he's a very good listener. He looks, he sees, he understands where things... He's a bit like a monk, I suppose.
So in the past, I may have said to people like, oh, Mike's one of the best climbers you never heard of. And the reason for that is, I think it's a real Liverpool, like Northwest thing, is there's just so many good climbers in that area who are just like unsung. Like there's so many talented people, super strong, and they just don't shout about it. They're just good, you know, it's nice.
Mike goes about what he does very quietly. He's not seeking attention. What he does is for him, and that's very inspiring and very lovely. And the way he climbs, I mean, I was belaying him on an 8C plus red point last summer, and he's climbing through a crutch sequence that he told me afterwards is like V12. No noise, no flapping, no shaking, just, and then, oh, he fell off. And that's as quiet as though he was warming up. And there's something magical about the way he goes about climbing.
I was working at Awesome Walls, which is like 5 minutes down the road. And a few of my friends had been in contact with Ged, and he had told them about the hangar opening. So kind of, you know, the rumours spread like wildfire, and we all got super excited. And I think we actually came down to check out the place before it even opened. And so like as the walls were being built, we got like a little tour of the building. And you know, we were all just like, oh my God, this is the future. It looks so good.
For Mike's best achievements, I guess there's twofold. His first one for climbing, I would say probably doing Dark Energy, the 8C plus on the Orme. You know, that took him a lot of time and patience and perseverance with the conditions down there. And hopefully he'll do some more big ticks soon. In terms of like my working kind of relationship with Mike, you know, he's been my regional manager for years now, and you know, being able to control a product and get exactly what we want out of people and like just bring a team together, he does a great job with that.
What do I love about setting? I think when you have a load of holds laid out before you and just a blank wall, and you just have kind of like unlimited creativity, you can just do whatever you want. It's just a really cool process to go through. You can kind of essentially do whatever you want as long as it's within the parameters of the grade, and it's just a load of fun. And I think actually it's really fun to see the customers then interacting with the climbs, and if they have a good time on something that you've put on the wall, it's quite a rewarding process.
So from the get-go, the hangar's been very in-house based with the route setting, which was me and Mike who started it essentially after Ged kind of parted ways to do more serious stuff. And then from then on, we felt like it was really important to nurture kind of our own team, because one, it allowed us to really focus on the product we want to deliver to the customers, but also to give people the opportunity to like have a career within the industry and make them feel like secure and that they can have like a job where they can buy a house and stuff. So for me, that was really important.
The reason we only really use in-house setters is my first business was as a chef. Now, I see huge amounts of parallels between the world of food and setting, but like chefing is a much older trade, right? So chefs at the very, very highest level are artists. Down from that, they are partly creative, partly commercial. So you have a commercial responsibility to doing the right thing, but then you also have an in-house style. It needs to be fashionable, it needs to speak to customers, but your average restaurant, 80% of the menu is very straightforward because most people, especially in the UK, are very straightforward. And then there's that little 20% for the more adventurous eater. And I think setting has a lot of kind of parallels with that. So the reason we use in-house is because we have a house style, we have a house product, we have a way of thinking about how we create setting, and I can't depend on somebody who doesn't work here to understand that and deliver that. And so basically I want really, really high levels of accountability for our product. We sell climbing, right? The idea of us not controlling that, to me, is completely insane.
How do I combine setting and climbing hard outside? It's not easy. To begin with, I'll just say it's not that easy. So I set like 40 hours a week, set four days a week, so I have 3 days off, and I kind of, if I want to have a really good session outdoors, normally it'll be on a Sunday, because I can rest on the Saturday. So typically I will try and train after setting, and then rest on Saturday, and yeah, go hell for leather on the Sunday and see what I can do.
Mike's training, now if I was to describe this to someone, it is awful. He has no system, and I have no idea how he gets by the way he does, because for me I have to be really systematic with like my training plans to make sure I achieve what I want. Mike will have like a 2-week period where he just goes ballistic, and next thing you know he's in incredible shape. So I would recommend that no one follows Mike's training plans.
When he finds someone to chase or something that he really wants to do, he can like flip a switch in his head, and that's what matters.
I think the way Mike achieved such a high level, despite probably not having the most sort of structured approach to climbing, is first of all, he did start very young. And I think some people have a potentially an innate physiology, so the amount of climbing that he did when he was younger, right, has clearly sort of shaped his body, his tendons and what have we. So his baseline capability, like anybody who's done sport from a very young age, is there. His understanding of movement on the wall is absolutely incredible. He moves really, really well. And I think when he does turn it on, he really does turn it on, and he's very focused, right? So he doesn't try and climb all of the things. He's going to do that thing, and then he builds his training specifically around that thing. That thing gets ticked.
I suspect it's partly to do with the joy he gets from climbing, which would override the fact that, you know, a really hard session will be based on fun and his enjoyment of it, so it doesn't feel like training, and that's something that everybody could take note of, really.
What do I love about the hangar? I think everyone here is here because they love having fun. I know that sounds a little bit cheesy, but like, no one takes anything too seriously. Everyone is like pretty laid back and humble, but still getting the job done whilst having a great time. And yeah, it's something that resonates with me quite a lot. Why can Dan Knight still burn me off occasionally? I'm trying to think of the last time it happened. Nothing's coming to mind. I can't remember the last time it happened, so I can't give you a reason.